Hello, my name is Professor Niall Chamberlain, and I'm the president of the Mathematical Association. And welcome to the 22nd edition of What is the Point of Mathematics? And today we have a special guest, and she wins the award with a background with a calculator. Fantastic. So I'm just going to let her introduce herself. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Susan Okereke. I'm a maths teacher and maths communicator. I currently work as a lead practitioner in a school in South London. I also deliver for maths hubs, working with maths teachers to kind of support their professional development. And I co-host a podcast with Bobby Seagull called Maths Appeal. And I also have a blog site called dothemathsthing.com. And that's where you can find me on social media. And I love teaching maths, and I think everyone should feel confident and competent in it. And that's what
Right.
gets me out of bed.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed, and thank you for that. I like that title. I always like the title, "Do the Math Thing." Yeah, that's do the math thing. I hope it's not copyrighted because sometimes I just want to use it. Do you know what I mean? That's
Oh, so you use it. I mean, it's my website, but you can obviously share it. Because I want the reason I picked it, the reason I thought of the name is I want everyone to do the maths thing. I want, that's the bigger aim. So use it.
excellent, excellent. So here comes the question. So, what is the point of mathematics?
Mm. Well, that's a massive question, and you've had some fantastic people talking about it on your vlog for the last, for the last year. And I think it's about, it's about communication, it's about patterns, it's about connections, it's about problem solving. But so my real focus, my real interest, what I'm really keen on is numeracy and kind of getting more people to be numerate. And that's kind of being able to use maths in everyday life, with regards to being able to do things like work out bills and shops, being able to work out what is a good deal, being able to work out if your pay raise is exactly what it's meant to be, able to look after your home, making good decisions around your finances. And that I think is indisputable with regards to like people's lives and the quality of their lives. So I've done some work with National Numeracy, the charity, and there's a massive issue with poor numeracy in England, and I think across the UK actually. I'm bold enough to say it, where a lot of people aren't very confident with them math skills or the numeracy skills, and the impact is massive. There's a high correlation between poor numeracy and depression. There's a high correlation between poor numeracy and unemployment. The country supposedly every year loses 20 billion pounds because of poor numeracy. So it's not a small thing. So my maths, I think, is awesome. I love teaching it. But my thing I want people to talk about more and think about more is, how is maths used in the real world? How should everyone be using maths and feeling confident with it? And why, if it's a problem, what can we do to kind of fix it?
Okay, so what gets me there is when you what got me was when you said that numeracy, poor numeracy equates to 20 billion pounds being lost from the economy. Can you just um, expand on that if possible?
But that's a figure that I've got from the National Numeracy Charity. I'd encourage anyone to kind of have a look at that. Anyone who's feeling unconfident with mathematics, or just anyone who's interested in the state of where our kind of country is with regards to numeracy. And it's just, I think it's through bad decision making from people just like kind of wasting money. I think, there is a bit of in this country, it's okay to say I'm not good at maths, or to think of it as somebody else's, or if you are good at maths, you're seen to be a boffin. And actually, there are certain things that 100% of people should be confident with.
Mm.
And numeracy is one of those things. And the impact of not having that skill, that confidence, is actually you make bad decisions and you do throw money away. And
Mm.
that is collective over, millions of people. But I think also it's that thing that there's been a lot of focus in the past on literacy being an issue, and people are kind of wouldn't say that they can't read or write, and they generally try and find the hide it on try and find ways of making it better. But there's a bit almost like a badge of honor to say that you're not very good at maths, but actually being like having poor numeracy is actually a much bigger indicator of disadvantage than poor literacy. And that is a thing to again to discuss, is the fact that like actually the impact it has really does hold people back. And I think it's also about this idea of like maths is about communication, it's about problem solving and critical thinking. And if elements of and numeracy is kind of involved in that. So if you're confident with fluency of things, six, and you don't have that, it's harder for you to make kind of good decisions.
Okay, okay. Very good. Critical thinking. Numeracy is important for critical thinking, communication, and critical thinking. So I'm gonna bring that Easter egg out. You know, critical thinking. Excellent. Very good. Right. So the UK Prime Minister last year says that mathematics should be made compulsory for everybody up until the age of 18. Do you agree or disagree? And tell me why.
Well, this has been a hot topic, hasn't it? So there's the theoretical answer and then the practical one. And in theory, I think it would be great, like a lot of other countries, for us to be teaching maths until people are 18. So, you know, they're people leaving and going into the workplace with fresh skills around mathematics. Then, yeah, in theory, I'm into this. The reality of our situation in this country is that we have a huge national shortage of maths teachers. We don't have enough. And that's to teach maths until the age of 16, which is compulsory. So I'm currently working at London South East Maths Hub, and I deliver on one of the projects there for the NCETM project on non-specialist SKTM, so that's kind of subject knowledge for teachers of maths. Okay, and I'm working with non-specialists, and this is the reality we're in. I think it's, again, I'm not sure of the exact number here, but I've heard it's, I think it's around 20% or a quarter of students in the country are being taught by non-specialists. That's huge, you know. And again, maybe I shouldn't be quoted on that, but it's it's much higher proportion than it should be of people being taught by people who've not taught have not kind of been taught maths to a high level, you know, or aren't math specialists. And so to be putting it out there, the idea of teaching until 18, there's so many questions around that. You know, it's like an extension of A level. I don't think that works for many people. I think the big issue as well is that every year, you know, approximately 30% of people doing the GCSE don't get the grade 4, which is needed seen as a pass. So that's, you know, and that's, I think, yeah, a few tens of thousands of students that then go on to do the resit, and the proportion of students who do the resit who pass is approximately 20-25%. So there's a whole bunch of young people going into the world who have got poor have got low confidence and then low basic skills, and we do not have enough math teachers for that. So the specifics of what has been offered or been mentioned, I think, is really important. And my thing is, why aren't we focusing on making sure that we have enough teachers to be able to deliver this idea, and deliver, first of all, for students who are up to compulsory up to 16. That should be the focus. How do we retain teachers? Get teachers in, definitely, but the reality of it is, when you're a trainee teacher, it takes at least 2 years to be any good. So the first 2 to 3 years, you're not that great. Not to be harsh, but that's it. Then you get better. But then I think there's another statistic, again, I shouldn't quote me on this, but I've heard doing the rounds, is that, you know, the average length a teacher stays teaching in the UK, or in England anyway, is 5 years. So when they get good, they then leave. And that is a waste of so much talent and energy and money. So before we start thinking about extending the offer to 18, how do we make the quality of teaching consistently good between up until 16? And then then we have people leaving who are confident and competent and all the rest of it, and then thinking about extending it. So my thing is, the practicalities don't really add up. And I really think, like, I really believe that math teachers are the gateway to sorting out the numeracy issue in this country. Also, I think there needs to be a discussion about curriculum and fit for purposeness, like, what are we delivering to people, students to kids leaving at 16? Is the Maths GCSE really setting people up to go into the workplace? I'd argue no. And so what should be there that's different? Should foundation students be doing the same content as higher students, but a bit less? Or should we be thinking about a numeracy qualification that 100% of people have to get? Or if you don't get your GCSE when you're 16, you do a numeracy qualification instead of doing a resit because it didn't work the first time. Why is it going to work again? And it's not working. So I think there needs to be a big discussion about maths education in this country with the view to supporting people going into the workplace, going into society, living good lives. And this just throwing out, the idea that we just teach until they're 18. What does that actually mean? And how is that actually going to work in the work, because we're already in quite a dire situation.
Okay, that was, I have to say, that was a comprehensive and passionate answer. No clarity points. Yes, here we go. Exam question, A star, A plus plus. There you go.
I hope it encourages discussion. I just think it's so important, and I think, the Maths Association is such a powerful body, but it's kind of there's obviously this idea of maths to a higher level, but then maths is compulsory. It's for 100% of students in this country. Like, we have to do it to the GCSE. So this is something it's really prevalent, and there's issues with attitude, like around mathematics. Like, is it useful to people? People are happy to say they hate it. Like, what can we do to make that different? And I think the idea of going, oh, we'll keep teaching till they're 18 could make it worse. But it's good I think we should be talking about it for sure.
Yeah. And it's good to be talking about it as well. I have to say, thank you very much indeed, Susan, for your comprehensive, absolutely comprehensive. I don't even need to put in some clarity questions there. And I have to say, you win the prize for best background of all these vlogs. There you go. Excellent. So I have to
Imagine my
say,
earring, by the way.
okay, well, all I've got is my jacket. So
It's a nice jacket. I love that. Math is everywhere.
all right, so my name is Professor Nara Chamberlain, and I'm the president of the Mathematical Association. And this has been the 22nd edition of the vlog, What is the Point of Mathematics? Thank you, Susan, for giving a great talk there. And I'll see everybody come next time. Goodbye.